Good morning, junior naturalists. Today I am here with a very special guest. This is Cormie, the double-crested cormorant, and she is a resident here at the Wildlife Center of the North Coast. She is here, she's lived here for about 5 years. When she was first rescued, she had a problem with her wing, and she will never be able to fly the same way, and so she was able to stay here at the Wildlife Center. She's being trained so that possibly she can go out and visit schools and other places so people can learn about this great species that we have here on the Columbia River. She's going to be listening with us to a book. Our book is called Bird Count. It's written by Susan Edwards Richmond and illustrated by Stephanie Fizer Coleman, and I'm reading it with permission from Peachtree Publishing. This book is all about counting birds like Cormie. So when you go out into the wild, when you go out on a trail or in a neighborhood this week, I want you to be thinking about birds that you can see. Oh yeah, it's a great one. And birds that you can hear. And I want you to count those. Keep a tally of how many birds you see and hear throughout the week. So this particular story is about a girl who went on a bird count at Christmas time. Our bird count is going to be this summer. I shake Mom in the dark. Wake up, sleepyhead. It's bird count day. One Sunday each winter, we take part in a bird census called the Christmas bird count. On this day, we go out and count every bird we see and hear. Mom says helping with the bird count makes us citizen scientists. Thank you, Cormie. Citizen scientists are ordinary people who do real science. That's going to be like you this week. We aren't the only ones either. Today, all the way from Canada to Antarctica, people are counting birds. So they count during just one day, but I want you to keep track all week. Knock, knock. It's Big Al. He's our team leader. There are 10 teams in our count circle. Each team counts the birds in one area. You'll never know where you'll find birds. Hey, Ava, says Big Al. What are the rules again? He knows I know them, but he tests me every time. Count every bird you see or hear, and make sure at least 2 people see or hear, and don't count any bird twice. The last one is hard, but we do our best. Did you bring your scientist tools? Asked Big Al. Mom's got our binoculars, and I've got the field guide, and Big Al has a notebook and a pencil. But that's not what he means. Our eyes and ears, I say. That's right, says Big Al. So as you can see, you don't need a lot of materials to go out and count birds. The most important things are using your senses. It's still dark when we back out of our driveway. I roll down my window and hear an owl. Who's awake? Me too, it calls. We can't hear it, we can't see it, but we hear it, so it counts. Why don't you keep the tally today, Ava? Big Al hands me the notebook. I look at Mom and smile. This is my first time. I write Great Horned Owl at the top of the page and make a mark. Chickadee-dee-dee, a chickadee calls. I add it to the list. I'm going to be busy today. So you can see Ava has a count started on her notebook of the birds she's seen and then a tally mark because they've seen one bird each. As the sun comes up, a V of birds flies overhead, long necks. Canada geese flying over. I make 4 up and down slash marks and 1 across for a bundle of 5. I'm keeping an eye out for a big black bird called a raven. I saw one 2 years ago. Al says ravens are rare around here. I hope we'll see mine again today. So Ava was able to see these birds and add them to her list. Let's check out this field, says Big Al, shooing us from the truck. It's freezing, but birds don't mind. 8 small birds dip and glide, and then veer away. Goldfinches aren't gold in winter, so the color won't help us, but we know them by the way they fly. 1 bundle of 5 and 3 straight marks. So she's keeping a tally. This is a great way to practice your math skills. And Cormie's doing a great job of helping us too. As we drive to our next stop, I watch the sky out the window. A blackbird soars above us. It can't be my raven, but that's the way a vulture flies. I look hard and see 2 more higher up making wobbly circles. Cool, Mom says. Turkey vultures, 3 hash marks. So depending on where you are in in the world and in North America, you're going to be seeing different birds. You can use our bird bingo sheet to keep track of what birds you see because it has birds that are common in the Pacific Northwest, like Cormie. You might see some double-crested cormorants if you head down to the Columbia River. At Weatherby Street, we park and walk to the marsh. When we get closer, we see 3 ducks diving out of sight. The dabblers are called mallards, bottoms sticking up. Everything's quiet for a while, and then we spot a quiver in the tall reeds. A hungry, great blue heron stretches its long neck. Those are some other birds you might see here in the Pacific Northwest. And you can see Ava's list is getting much longer. Now we're looking for feeders where birds gather. Stop, I say. There's one with cardinals, blue jays, juncos. Wait, and isn't that a brown creeper on the tree? Its feathers look just like the bark, called camouflage. You're getting good at this, says Big Al. I see a squirrel and a chipmunk too, but they don't count. So not only can you look for birds when you go to a water source or on your hike, but you could also look in backyards and neighborhoods. Cormie says it's time to keep reading. I understand. Let's keep going. Whoosh! A hawk with a striped tail dives at the feeder. The small birds scatter. They came to eat seeds, but the larger bird came to eat them. That one's Cooper's hawk for us. A big black bird wasn't scared away. It hops across the yard. Is that my raven? Caw, caw. A crow, not a raven. Ravens make a croaking sound. I pointed out to Mom and Big Al, every bird counts. So Ava is able to keep track of the names of the birds that she's seen. If you don't know the name of the bird, that's okay. You can still count them in your bird count. On Horseshoe Lane, houses hide deep in the woods. Someone reported seeing an ovenbird here last week. Big Al says that ovenbirds usually fly south to Central America before now. As scientists, we need to investigate. We make psh-ing sounds to bring out the ovenbird. Psh, psh, psh. We don't see an ovenbird, but we do hear downy woodpeckers rat-tat-tat on a trunk. Several chickadees cock their heads at us. Psh, psh, still no ovenbird. Then we hear a sound like a cat's meow. We see it, a gray bird with a flicking tail. It's a catbird. Wow, their list is getting really long from just looking in a few places. They notice and hear a lot of birds. Back on the road, I see movement in Cucurbit Farms fields. Geese in the corn stalks. Count 'em, says Big Al. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big Al points to a gray and white bird. Look, Ava, he said, there's your mockingbird. As the sun sets, we pull into the school parking lot. Behind rows of buses are trees full of birds. They're like cutout shapes against the sky, but we can hear them. Cedar waxwings chittering, mourning doves cahooing, robins singing cheerio, cheerio. I see a big blackbird flap to the ground. Looks like a crow, but grok, grok, it cries. That's it, I shout. My raven came back. Oh, you want to help me with that one? Thank you. Too dark now to bird, but not too dark for a party. Potluck, hot chocolate, and firelight. We meet the other teams in our count circle and share what we saw. Big Al gives our tally to the circle chief. She reports for all 10 teams. I love being a citizen scientist. Maybe someday I will go to Antarctica on a bird count. I wonder what birds I'll find there. So this is a great way to introduce yourself to being a naturalist, using your 5 senses, observing and staying alert when you're out on a hike or even just in your neighborhood to look and listen for birds. And the great thing about today is you've already seen a bird. Here we have Cormie, our first bird of the day for our bird count. So start your tally and then head out on a hike or on a trip today, even looking out the window of your car, and keep track all week. You can share with us on our Facebook page or on our Instagram how many birds you see this week as a junior naturalist.